Hello students, today we are discussing about the secondary wastewater treatment for the wastewater control. There are the three stages of wastewater treatment processes. First is a primary treatment, secondary, and the third one is tertiary treatment. So out of this, secondary treatment consists of the biological treatments. The primary physical treatments for the wastewater is followed by the processes that involves the microbial oxidation of the waste by the microorganisms to oxidize the organic present in the waste. Such a process are known as either biological or secondary treatment for wastewater. The objective of the secondary treatments are to oxidize, dissolve and particulate biodegradable constituents into non-polluting end products. Second, to remove or transform nutrients such as nitrogen and phosphorus constituents. To capture non-settleable and suspended solid into a biofilm. And the last one is to remove the specific trace of organic compounds. Secondary biological treatment is primarily classified as aerobic process and anaerobic process. Aerobic process that involves the microorganisms which consumes the molecule or the free oxygen to assimilate the organic impurities, that is convert them into carbon dioxide, water and biomass. Out of this, 50% of the organic impurities converted into carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, water and biomass are the byproducts or end products of this aerobic process. Whereas anaerobic process consists of the molecules, microorganisms or anaerobes which do not require air or any kind of oxygen to assimilate organic impurities. The final product of the organic assimilation in the anaerobic treatment are the methane and carbon dioxide gas and biomass. In this, more than 95% of methane is produced from this organic substance. If you compare the aerobic and anaerobic process, in the aerobic process, the conversion of the organic waste into 50% of carbon dioxide and 50% into biomass and water. Whereas in anaerobic process, 95% of carbon is converted into methane and only the 5% is produced in the form of carbon. Second, 60% of energy stored into biomass and the rest removed as a process heat. Whereas in anaerobic process, 90% of energy is retained as a biomass, whereas 3 to 5% is wasted as heat and the rest is converted to biomass. High energy input for aeration and nutrient addition requirement for the aerobic process, whereas no external energy required and the no nutrient requirement for anaerobic process. Large process area is required for aerobic process, whereas very small space is required for anaerobic process. Small startup time is required in the aerobic process, whereas the large startup time is required in anaerobic process. Aerobic process is having technology which is well established, whereas anaerobic process technology is under development under the research and development. If you give the example of the aerobic process, activated sludge, trickling filter, rotating contactor, biological contactor are the examples of the aerobic process. Whereas anaerobic process, upflow anaerobic sludge blanket reactor is a classical example for anaerobic process. In anaerobic process, the stages involved, which we will discuss on the major stages. The aerobic process has two major stages. First is acid fermentation stage and the second one is methane fermentation stage. Further, other complex material are also degraded into many substages like hydrolysis of complex organic material, fermentation of amino acids and sugars present in the organic waste, anaerobic oxidation of long chain fatty acids and alcohols, anaerobic oxidation of intermediate products such as short chain fatty acids except acetate, acetate production from the carbon dioxide and hydrogen, that is called as a homoacetogenesis, conversion of acetate to methane. Then methane production is also done by the reduction of carbon dioxide by using hydrogen, that is called as reductive methanogenesis. The group of bacteria involved for anaerobic degradation are: the first is the fermentation bacteria, second is the hydrogen producing acetogenic bacteria, third is hydrogen consuming acetogenic bacteria, and the fourth is carbon dioxide reducing bacteria, etc. If you compare if you classify the secondary treatments, so there are the major classification is the aerobic process and anaerobic process, and the lagoon process. So out of these, aerobic process are also further classified as suspended growth, which are having the different types, that is such as activated sludge, aerated lagoons, stabilization ponds, and aerobic digestion. Aerated lagoons are also called as oxidation ponds. The second one is the attached growth process. Attached growth processes are the trickling filters, rotating biologic contactor, packed bed reactors, or the called as the towers. Then the third one, hybrid technology is also established in the form of trickling filter or activated sludge for aerobic process, which involves the microorganisms which consumes oxygen for their sustainability. Then second process is anaerobic process. Anaerobic process are also classified as suspended growth and attached growth. Out of the suspended growth are anaerobic contact process and anaerobic digestion, where attached growth is anaerobic packed or fluidized bed sludge blanket reactor. Then upflow anaerobic sludge blanket reactor, that is UASB reactor for attached. It is very well known for this anaerobic process. Then the third lagoon processes, that is lagoons are nothing but the ponds. That lagoons also used particularly for the sludge deposition of the organic waste from the wastewater. That is, lagoon processes are aerobic lagoons, maturation lagoon, facultative lagoons, anaerobic lagoons. Facultative lagoon is very versatile in its operation. In this, in the secondary biological treatment, in this topic we'll discuss on particularly focus on the activated sludge process. That is a secondary treatment of wastewater. The activated sludge is a mixture of bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and rotifers maintained in the suspension of aeration and mixing. In this process, biomass of aerobic organisms is grown in large aerated tanks or the basins. These organisms break down the waste and use it their food to grow themselves. Activated sludge process return settleable sludge to the aeration basins in water to maintain the right amount of organism to consume or handle the incoming pour from the primary clarifier. So aerated basins or the aerated tanks are generally established after the between the primary settler and the secondary settler. The effluent from the primary settler, is used as effluent for the aeration tank. The activated sludge process has a removal efficiency in the range of 95 to 98% as compared to the trickling filter, which is having only 80 to 85%. So this is very versatile process for the treatment of the most of the organic biodegradable substance in the wastewater treatment process. So if you see the mechanism of the activated sludge system, a primary settler or primary clarifier may be introduced to remove the part of the suspended solid present in the effluent and reduces the organic load to the activated sludge system. The biological reactor or the aerated tank is filled with a mixture of activated sludge and the effluent coming from the primary clarifier. It is known as a mixer liquor. It is necessary to maintain the certain mixed liquor suspended solid, that is MLSS, in the aerated tank, maintain the good removal efficiency. The aeration equipment transfer the oxygen necessary for the oxidation of the organic material into the reactor. There are the various ways of supplying air or the oxygen to the aerated basins, while simultaneously introducing enough turbulence to keep the sludge flux in the suspension. The continuous introduction of new effluent results in a continuous discharge of mixed liquor as effluent from the activated sludge to the for the secondary clarifier, where the separation of the solid and the liquid takes place. The liquid leaves the system as a treated effluent, whereas some part of the sludge is recirculated or recycled to the aerated tank called as return sludge or activated sludge, and the rest of the sludge is taken for anaerobic digestion for the sludge thickening for the discharge of the sludge. So if you see the design variables of the activated system, so Q is the flow rate of the influent, QW is the flow rate of the waste stream, QR is the flow rate of the return of activated sludge. So these are this here. VSS is the volatile suspended solids. So equation, the most important equation for the design of the aeration tank that the variables use, that is hydraulic detention time, is necessary to calculate based on the yield coefficient, flow rate, and their volume of the aeration tank can be determined by depending upon the hydraulic detention tank. So if you make the mass balance around the clarifier, so if you find that where the Xc is equal to 0, so you will get the equation for the QR, that is the recycle flow rate, and the recycle ratio can be determined, that is the recycle flow rate divided by the influent Q. Thank you very much. In the next video, we'll discuss on the other processes such as anaerobic process, USB, and the trickling filters as aerobic process. Thank you.